度化天下无边无际的有情众生，速得无上正等觉圆满佛国。请大家发广大殊胜的菩提心，以及方便广大密咒神动机，并且如理如法的谛听。
Please listen to the teaching by cultivating the two aspects of supreme motivation, the vast intention of the Mahayana Bodhicitta and the vast method of the sacred mantra Vajrayana, so as able to lead all sentient beings as limitless as space to the state of the unsurpassed Buddhahood.
Ой, сердишь сильно. Ой,那今天呢，我们继续讲入菩萨行论那我们上2堂课里面呢，我们已经讲了入菩萨行论的这个名义以及顶礼然后落言这些部分接下来我们现在呢已经进入了就是入行论的正文就是所谓的整个入菩萨行论的主要的内容的部分呢。那主要的内容部分呢，上次我们也提到，就是分3个层次就是第一个呢是将我们的菩提心没有生长之前呢，为了升起菩提心的前3品然后呢升起了之后，为了我们的菩提心坚固而中间的3品，然后呢然后3品就是不但能够坚固，而且更加的增长的3品，最后是这个回向品，所以呢一共就是10品。那10品里面呢，今天我们讲的是第1品。第1品主要讲的是什么呢？就是讲的是菩提心的利益的部分。
So today we'll be continuing on the teaching on the Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life. In the previous 2 class sessions, we have given teaching regarding the title of this treaty, as well as the homage, as in the oath or the purpose. And now today we have be entering on the actual content. We'll be continue on the teaching of the actual content of this treaty, the Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life. This content or this treatise consists of 3 main parts. The first part, which is the first 3 chapters, is designed for those who have not arisen bodhicitta in their mind stream to arouse bodhicitta. Then, having aroused bodhicitta, the next 3 chapters are designated or designed for the bodhicitta to become stable in the practitioner's mind stream. And then lastly, the last 3, then the following 3 chapters are designated for the practitioners to continue having stabilized their bodhicitta, to enhance their bodhicitta. And then it concludes with the last chapter on the dedication of merit. So here today we'll be continue on the first chapter, which is talking about the benefit of the bodhicitta.
然后呢，在这里面又是首先讲到是入者所依补脱家乐然后呢入者的意乐，入者的驱入的方法这一分了3个我们首先的第1个、第2个我们已经讲完了然后呢我们现在是在讲什么呢现在我们讲到的部分呢，就是在这个功德的部分就是这功德的部分。那功德的部分呢，又讲了就是用不一样的比喻在讲这个菩提心的功德的部分里面呢，我们昨天讲完上一堂课里面讲完的是就是如果是生长了菩提心的话，它就好像这个染金叶一样的，它的功德很大，可以把就我们一般的一个凡夫的人变成一个佛子一般的功德，就是一般的一个金叶一般1两金叶可以将1000两的一个铁变成黄金以这个比喻来赞美或是来宣讲菩提心的功德 就是我们上一堂课呢，就是讲到这里。那今天呢，就是用如意宝般的这个比喻来说明这个菩提心的难得以及珍贵。
您刚刚说第一个意乐跟什么？
第一个就是你在他的勘察里面看一下就有了。第一个是入者所依补脱迦洛，然后呢，入者的意乐按照驱逐的方法，就是你知道听得懂吗？意乐就是
intention， 还有意乐，
就是驱逐的方法。
第一个是所具备的、所需要的东西，是不是所依的条件？
对，基本上。
So here in the previous class, we have talked about the requirements the necessary conditions that we need in order to arouse bodhicitta, as well as the intention that is required to develop bodhicitta, and we'll begin to talk about the quality or the benefits of the bodhicitta. Such as in the previous class, we have talked about that in the metaphor of the quicksilver elixir, such that the bodhicitta is like the metaphor that's compared to the quicksilver elixir that's able to transmute, such as the unit of liang of metal into 1,000 liang of gold. Such how profound and precious it is that it's able to transform an ordinary being into the children of the Sugatas. And so today we'll be continue on the teaching in which the bodhicitta is compared with the metaphor of a wish-fulfilling jewel.
今天呢，这里说众生导师以慧观彻见彼心极珍贵，诸意除利三界者亦善坚持菩提心所以我们在这里学习的过程当中呢，大家可以以这个善收入行论善收海里面的这个章节，大家可以看一下的话，就会更清楚一点。就说每4句主要在讲什么它这个里面就是分得非常的清楚。所以它的这个章节弄清楚了之后呢，你就会更清楚这4句主要是在讲这一个部分，那4句呢主要在讲那一个部分是这样，你会更清楚一点。那这里呢在讲什么呢？就是这里在讲这个众生的导师。众生的导师是谁呢？我们比如说一般的人，我们要渡过一个海，或者渡过一个河，那我们的船长就是来引导我们渡过这个海的一个船长。那这里呢，就是把这个3界轮回比喻成一个海一样的。那3界轮回这个海里面呢，要渡过这个海的话，我们必须要一个就是船长一般的一个导师来引导我们渡过这个3界的海。所以呢，这是谁呢？这个就是释迦牟尼佛。所以众生的导师释迦牟尼佛以慧观就是以他深广的智慧来观察以深广的智慧观察了以后呢，唯一的也是最究竟的，让我们一切众生能够度过，或者是能够脱离这个痛苦的最好的就是方法是什么呢？就是珍贵的这个菩提心就是我们所说的以前讲的这个珍贵的菩提心这样。
So here, throughout the process of learning this treaty, we can use the commentary, which is the loosely translated, the ocean of the kind speeches or kind words. That is the commentary that's based on which the commentary that was composed for this treaty, that you were able to have a much more clear understanding on each of these phrases or these texts talking about. For example, such as the each section or each of these phrases or sections, they have a detailed commentary regarding what the content, what is that is talking about. So here it says that The world's soul leaders, whose minds are fathomless, have well examined its great value. You who are inclined to escape from the state of mundane existence, hold fast to the jewel of spirit awakening, which is bodhicitta. So here it says the world's soul leader, but it's compared to that. For example, when ordinary people, in order for people to go across this sea or river, they need a captain who's able to row the boat. So the captain is the one who is able to help us cross these so referred to as sea or river. Here, in terms of the sea or the river, is compared to as a metaphor for the cyclic existence of the three realms. And also the captain here, we as a metaphor, or in terms of here it says soul leader, that is the Buddha Shakyamuni. And so thereby here the Buddha, using his fathomless or unlimited wisdom, or infinite wisdom, has observed that the best method for all sentient beings to able to come across the ocean of samsara, or here the obtain liberation, is through the bodhicitta.
那这里说，诸欲出离三界者，亦善坚持菩提心。如果是我们欲求，或者是我们希望，如果是要脱离三界轮回的这个苦海，如果是要脱离三界轮回的苦海的话，应该就是坚持守持这个菩提心，因为在我们人天乘里面也好，或者是这个声闻乘里面也好，没有比这个菩提心还要更殊胜的一个方法，可以让我们脱离这个轮回三界的苦海。所以呢，不管是我们所说的小乘、阿罗汉的果位也好，或者是我们其他的任何的法门里面，菩提心是最为殊胜的。所以如果只要你是想要脱离三界的苦海的话，一定要守持或是真正的坚持这个菩提心，所以就是强调这个菩提心的功德，以这样的方式来介绍或者讲这个给我们菩提心的这个功德这样。所
以它是在小乘跟人天中里面最殊胜的。
不是人间跟小乘里面的这些法里面根本没有这么殊胜的法，它是超越这些的，不是在这些里面的。
So here it says, you who are inclined to escape from the state of mundane existence, hold fast to the jewel of the spirit of awakening. So here, if you wish to be, if you are someone who wishes to be free from this ocean of suffering, this cyclic existence, you should always hold on to the bodhicitta, because this is something that transcends all the previous teachings in terms of the Hinayana vehicle, as well as the vehicle for the human or the heavenly realm. It's beyond these teachings. It is something that's nowhere to be found within these vehicles of teachings, and it's something that transcends. So therefore, this is something that's something nothing else is more precious for you in order to obtain liberation.
所以呢，在这里在强调这个真正的菩提心的时候呢，我们是需要依靠什么样的方法？然后呢，在我们的相续当中可以升起这个菩提心，这个是非常重要的。那我们说，那这个菩提心有这么殊胜的话，我们要怎么样让它升起呢？我们在升起菩提心的时候呢，最重要就是首先我们要依止一个善知识如果是依靠一个善知识的话，善知识一个非常不可缺少的我们在身边需要的一个善知识。然后善知识之外呢，我们还要依靠就是很好的这个道友我们身边的人也是非常重要的。如果是你身边的人他是常常讲菩提心，讲一些佛法这样的人的话，那个就是真正的好的道友。所以你们就是常常平时聊的东西聊的事情都跟这个有关的所以呢，这样就是也是会帮助你在相续当中慢慢的产生一些菩提心。但是如果是相反的，常常跟你聊一些 就是让你升起贪嗔痴的，或者是嫉妒的，或者是嗔恨心的等等这样的人的话，最好就是不用跟这样的人常常聊天，因为这样对你的相续当中会影响到你所以呢，这些都是对我们相续当中升起菩提心上很有关系的然后还有是什么呢？还有就是常常可以看一些以前的高僧大德们的传记以前高僧大德们的传记，然后呢佛陀的传记，这些也是相当有帮助的。我们看一些这些的话，我们就真正的可以激发一些我们大自内心的一些信心呢原来高僧大德他们是这样就是去修行的，他们是这样做，然后在他们的相续当中升起了菩提心等等等等的所以呢可以让你就心相续当中升起一个很好的一个信心这样然后呢就这些当然这个之外，我们平时积累资粮等等，这些都是帮助我们升起菩提心的。那在这里面讲的这个菩提心，大家可能也许会想到，这是到底是圣意菩提心，或是世俗菩提心？到底这个是哪一个菩提心呢？如果是圣意菩提心要升起的话，那可能会非常，虽然功德很大，但是很难。到底是哪一个呢？那我们要知道，就是这里讲的，就是功德这么大的这个菩提心是讲的，就是世俗菩提心。因为我们没有，就是一个世俗人，一个完完全全世俗人的相续当中升起了这个世俗的菩提心，他的功德就有这么大。所以这个是对我们来说不是很遥远的一件事情，是对我们来说，所有的人只要去做的话，都能够做到的一件事情所以对这个呢，我们一定要就是珍惜这一点，常常谈论菩提心，常常讲菩提心的功德等等的
So here, as it's continue emphasis on the importance of bodhicitta and then the benefits of bodhicitta, what are the methods that we can utilize? What are the methods that we need to use to engage in order to arouse bodhicitta? This is something that we need to really important. We need to really understand, since with such profound of teaching of bodhicitta, how do we able to really arouse, truly arouse bodhicitta in our mind stream? First and foremost, the most important key point is to follow a genuine spiritual friend. This is something that is absolutely required. And also our environment, the people we surround ourselves with, also is an important factor that we really need to surround ourselves with the positive Dharma friends. People that are, if the people surrounding us are always talking about this bodhicitta, then the benefits of bodhicitta, then that will be very helpful for you to arouse bodhicitta in your mind stream, for you to be always in this kind of environment. However, if you, for example, you're always surrounded yourself with people who's talking about nothing but ignorance, anger, desire, or jealousy, then that will have negative effect on you, and then causing you to be less effective in terms of developing bodhicitta. So it's really best for you to be away from that kind of negative environment. Also, the other method is to always engage in reading the biography of the great masters before us, and as well as the biography of the Buddha. By reading these biographies, we can arouse confidence or motivation in our mind stream to engage in the practice of arousing bodhicitta. Because by reading these biographies, we have able to see how they have practiced and how they have achieved in arousing bodhicitta in their mind stream. And that will allow us to develop a sense of confidence and motivation. And of course, other than these things, such as accumulating merits and etc., are also very important, are also necessary to engage, to arouse bodhicitta. And regarding the bodhicitta we are talking about here, you may wonder whether this is in terms of the absolute bodhicitta or the relative bodhicitta. You may think that, if this is talking about the absolute bodhicitta, then that would be really somewhat hard. That would be really hard for us to develop or achieve. However, here we have to understand that the bodhicitta we are talking about here in this teaching, in this treaty, this is the relative bodhicitta. It is something that is absolutely possible for a mundane person to be able to develop and arouse and to be able to engage, enjoy all these benefits. This is something really not far from us. This is something that if we choose to continue to engage in, we will be definitely able to achieve. So here, this is what we need to always. So if you can, you should always constantly engage in conversation about bodhicitta, which will really help you.
所谓的世俗菩提心是什么呢？就是所谓的世俗菩提心，就是一般我们所说资粮道、加行道，然后依地菩萨等等，这样一步一步的往上爬。这里讲的这个是世俗菩提心，是连资粮道、加行道都还没有达到的，就是真正的非常就是一般的世俗人就是修行者的相续当中升起了这个菩提心。那这个菩提心是怎么样的一个菩提心呢？也许待会儿我再跟大家详细的讲大致上就是在这个待会儿我们讲这个这个愿行菩提心的时候，我也会提到大致上就是一般的我们的众生的心里面产生的这种菩提心这样。
In terms of the relative bodhicitta we are talking about here, this is something that's really can be achieved by just like a really ordinary person in a person of the mundane world. This is beyond. This is not even for. This is not even required for those who have entered the path of accumulating merits, the path of enhancement, or the path of the bodhisattva. So this is able to achieve for practitioners who are really at a level as a mundane person. And then next I will be talking about the benefit of this this bodhicitta, this relative bodhicitta, in terms of as I began to give teaching on the bodhicitta of aspiration and then the bodhicitta of the application.
然后接下来呢是用妙数，也就是如意数也好，妙数也好来比喻说明这个菩提心的这个果是无穷无尽的就是增长就是用这个如意数也好，妙数也好就是以这个来比喻的这里怎么说呢？其余善行如芭蕉，果实生矣，终枯槁。菩提心树恒生果，非尽不尽，反增茂就以这4句来讲这个菩提心的功德，这个菩提心的这个果就是它的功德这样。
And then here next it will be comparing the teaching will be comparing as a metaphor of bodhicitta to compare as the wish-fulfilling tree. The fruition of the wish-fulfilling tree is infinite in amount, which is as a metaphor for bodhicitta. And here it talks about that just as the plantain tree decays upon losing its fruit, so does every other virtue wane. But the tree of the spirit of awakening perpetually bears fruit. It does not decay, only flourishes. So here is talking about the quality or of the fruition or the result of the bodhicitta.
那这里说其余善行如芭蕉，其余它指的是什么呢？指的就是我们人天乘的这个福报，以及声闻乘的这些福报做的这些善行。人天乘的这个福，我们所说的这个功德呢，它当来世得到了这个人身，然后投生人的时候呢，得到该得的一些福报，然后他就完成了，他这个果就已经没有了，然后呢，或者是投身到天道，然后呢享受完天道的这些快乐之后，这一世过去了，他的这个之前他积累的这些资粮功德就全部就用尽了，就没有了。然后像小乘声闻乘的话，就是他得到了阿罗汉的果以后，他之前的所有的这些功德就已经没有了，已经用尽了，就是得到阿罗汉果为止就是其他就再没有了所以呢，其余善行如芭蕉就是其余就是指的这些。那芭蕉是一种 就是植物。那这种植物其实芭蕉里面听说是有些芭蕉是还是可以生果的，但是有些是不会生果的。这可能是以前在印度的有一种植物吧。这个芭蕉树这个上面还有很多的就是说法，有些说是有些芭蕉是会生完果以后还会生的，但是有些芭蕉是生完一次就干枯了，就全部没有了。那这里指的就是生完了一次之后它就再也不会生长了，它那个种子就是只会生一次果那个完了以后就再也不生长的那种芭蕉那这个的话就比喻就是说其他的这些善行呢，就是如芭蕉果一样的，它的那个因制造了之后，它那个果产生这一次之后呢，它就用尽了果生果报一生中枯槁，这样就是其他的法就是这样的。那菩提心是怎么样的呢？我们先这个翻好。
So here it says that just as a plantain tree decays upon losing its fruit, so does every other virtue wane. So in terms of the every other virtue, what are they? It pertain to the accumulation of merits that is accumulated through the teaching of the vehicle of the human heavenly, as well as the vehicle of the Hinayana, such as the merits accumulated through this vehicle or these teachings. The karmic result will only occur once, and it will be depleted. Such that in terms of the vehicle of the human heavenly, such that all the merits accumulated by following those teachings, once the person have obtained a human birth in the next life or heavenly or rebirth in the heavenly realm, then the merits will be depleted. And in terms of the vehicle of the Hinayana, once the practitioner obtained the level Arhat, then all the merits accumulated previously will be depleted, since the fruition have occurred. So here, as it compares to the plantain tree, the plantain tree is some type of plantain trees are able to only bear fruit continuously, but some will only bear fruit once. So here it may be pertain to some type of the ancient India, where the plantain tree there only bears fruits for once in their lifetime, and then that is it. They will no longer bear any more fruit. So this is what the type of the plantain tree is pertaining to, or to compare it to as a metaphor, such as that once all the karmic merits has been used up, and it will be completely depleted.
然后这里说菩提心树恒生果，这里面讲的这个菩提心是什么菩提心呢？这里面讲的这个就是愿菩提心跟行菩提心两个都是这里讲的是愿行菩提心两个的功德同时在这里讲但是呢这里讲这个功德的时候呢，它这个愿行菩提心呢要具备两个条件的愿行菩提心一个条件是什么呢？就是我们所说的发心的时候发广大的菩提心，为一切众生成佛的那种发心。然后第二个呢是什么呢？就是回向愿一切众生就是成佛而回向一切善根就是在具备这两个条件的这个愿行菩提心是讲的这个菩提心的功德。
So here, when it says that the tree of spirit of awakening, or tree of bodhicitta, what kind of bodhicitta is referring to here in the teaching? It's referring to both the aspiration as well as application of bodhicitta. That the quality of these bodhicitta, both of these a quality of bodhicitta is included. So here, but then they also have several two requirements. For example, for the aspiration bodhicitta, it actually requires two factors. The first factor is that it should always within the aspiration bodhicitta to aspire that with the requirement that to aspire for all sentient beings to attain Buddhahood. And then the second factor is the dedication of merit for all sentient beings for that purpose, for all sentient beings to attain liberation and complete Buddhahood. So this is what we're referring to here in terms of the aspiration of bodhicitta.
然后这个菩提心的呢是它的果是恒生果菩提心树恒生果，非尽不尽反增茂。意思就是说它的这个果 就是出生了一次就不会消失，他还会继续的这个生他的这个果，不但是继续生，而且越生越多就是很不尽反尽这个非尽不尽反生果，就是不但是不会用尽，而且会更加的增长。那为什么会这样呢？因为我们这个菩提心的这个发心这个愿力是非常广大的。我们在这个普贤行愿品里面讲了嘛，普贤行愿品里面怎么讲的呢？就说这个虚空是无边的，那这个虚空无边的话，众生也是无边的。当众生无边的话，我的愿力和我的发心也是无边的。所以因为这样大的愿力呢，这菩提心所摄持的所有的善根，它的果是永远不会穷尽的，直到成佛。所以呢，这里讲就说，反增茂，就是菩提心的这个善根是非常殊胜的，就是不但不会用尽，而且呢，永远就会增长。这样，我们主要要知道为什么它的功德比其他的大。我们就是我刚刚讲的，就是普贤行愿品里面讲的，它是无边无际的，它的愿力是无边无尽的，它的对境是无边无尽的。然后他的这个发愿的这个众生是无边无尽的，所以他这个功德也是无边无尽的。
所以就是发愿跟功德还有对境都是。
对。
所以他最后的。So here it says that the tree of spiritual awakening perpetually bears fruit, does not decay, and only flourishes. So here it says that the bodhicitta, it not only does not, or the benefit of, or the fruition of the bodhicitta not only does not decay, but it continues to flourish. It will continue to grow more and more, and it will be continue to enhance in terms of the quality or the fruition of the bodhicitta, because the aspiration of bodhicitta is something that's immensely vast, as pointed out in the Kingdom Noble Prayer, that as long as the space endures, as long as sentient beings endure, because the space in terms of the space is infinite, and then thereby the sentient beings will be infinite. Since they are all infinite, my aspiration will be infinite. So in terms of the aspiration, the magnitude of the aspiration so vast that is considered as infinite, then thereby of course the result will be infinite until the enlightenment of Buddhahood. So thereby not only it will not decay in terms of bodhicitta, but it will continue to flourish. So it's a key thing we need to understand why the benefit a bodhicitta has such immense merit or immense benefit, such as the benefits infinite, because of we've just mentioned in the Kingdom Noble Prayer that the aspiration, the subject, they're all infinite. So thereby ultimately the quality or the benefit itself or the fruition itself will be infinite as well.
然后接下来呢，是以护送者比喻说明，救脱罪业之果就是用另外一个比喻来讲菩提心的这个功德。如人难犯极罪重罪，然以永世得除伪。若有速领解脱者，为罪之人何不依？就是这4句来讲这个菩提心的功德。那这个举的例子是什么呢？比如说，有一个人就犯了一个极大的这个罪业但是呢，他要依靠一个勇士，就是比如来保护他，然后来保护他经过一个很危险的地方。比如说有一条道路，这个上面也有很多的强盗，也有很多的野兽所以一般人是不敢独行的或者是没有勇士的话是不敢经过的一个道路。那如果是这样的一个道路的话，你如果在你旁边有一个勇士，非常勇敢的一个勇士陪伴着你就是渡过这里的话，那你自己就是依靠他而可以渡过这一条危险的道路一样的。 那这样就是举的是这样的一个例子。那如果是一个人他有一个造了很严重的罪过，就像无间罪的这样的严重的罪过的话，如果你依靠这个菩提心的话，你可以度过这个难关啊，它可以菩提心可以让你不下地狱，意思就是这样。
So here now we begin the next paraphrase, talking about and give another metaphor on in terms of bodhicitta as a protector. So here another metaphor on the benefit of bodhicitta. It says here, owing to its protection, as due to the protection of a powerful man, even after committing horrendous vices, one immediately overcomes great fear. Why do ignorant beings not seek refuge in it? So here it says that for someone who has committed a very serious crime, or in terms of the metaphor, for a person to go through a really dangerous pathway or passage, such as the passage filled with scary scoundrels, robbers, and fierce animals, it is something that's very dangerous to pass through, and you might lose your life in that during the process. But if you are able to be safeguarded by someone who is a brave warrior, then you will feel great. You'll be able to pass through the passage successfully. So this is a metaphor in comparison to the bodhicitta, such that for someone who have committed a very serious crime, such as the 5 heinous crimes, even as for someone who has committed such serious crime, if they're able to rely on bodhicitta, the bodhicitta is able to safeguard this person through the person's life, and then safeguard prevent the person from dwelling in this hell realm of suffering, such as able to safeguard him from to endure any suffering of the hell realm.
所以呢，这里说，如果是已经自己有遭过很多的罪业，但是呢也欲求解脱的人的话，如果是一个心理正常的，就是有正知正念的人的话，为什么不会依靠菩提心呢？一定会依靠菩提心的，因为唯一也是最好的方法就是依靠菩提心来度过这些困难啊。所以呢，就是为何不依靠菩提心呢？就是一定会依靠菩提心啊。上面这个举的例子就是，你如果是要经过一个那样的危险的一个路，但是呢你旁边有一个勇士，如果是你依靠他的话，你可以度过那个难关的话，为什么不去依靠？如果不去依靠的人，可能就是不正常的人才不会依靠了。如果正常的人，他一定会依靠这样的方法来度过这个难关啊。所以呢，我们要度过这个3界轮回的这个苦海，这个危险的这个路的话，我们一定要依靠这个菩提心，意思是这样。
So here, if you are someone who have committed serious negative crime or negative karmic activities and wish for liberation, if you are someone who is mentally normal or mindfulness with a normal, stable mind, then why wouldn't you rely on bodhicitta? And here it means that you would definitely seek bodhicitta as a way to safeguard you. Just as the metaphor here, that in order for you to cross this dangerous passage filled with all kinds of danger, if there's a brave warrior next to you, why wouldn't you rely on that warrior? If you are someone who is mentally normal, then you would definitely do so. That is really the logical thing to do, unless you're someone who is not normal. So here, in order to cross through the danger of the 3 realms in terms of the cyclic existence, to rely on bodhicitta is really the logical, or the real logical thing to do here.
那为什么说这个依靠菩提心就可以度过这些呢？因为在声闻乘里面呢，一个人如果是造了无间罪的话，他是没有其他的方法的，一定需要去承受那个果报来 消尽这个罪业，没有什么其他的办法。如果是在声闻乘的里面，就是一定要下地狱，然后呢，就是把这个造了五无间罪的罪过要自己去承受这个果报，没有别的方法。但是呢，在这个大乘里面，大乘的菩提心里面，大乘里面的话，如果你依靠菩提心的话，就算是一个人遭了五无间罪这么严重的罪过，那依靠菩提心的话，也许你可以不用下地狱去，你可以就是清尽所有的这个罪过。万一如果是你就算是要下地狱，都是就好像我们举例子，打篮球的时候，那个篮球这样拍一下到地上沾一下，马上就弹起来，就是那么快速的下地狱，马上就出来了就是可以。菩提心就是可以将这么严重的罪过都就是变成这么轻，甚至是全部清除掉。就算全部没有办法清除掉，都是非常非常短的时间里面就是感受一下这个果就没有了。所以呢，这里讲的菩提心的功德有这么大，那一个正常人来说是一定会依靠这个菩提心，要去修这个菩提心的这样。
So why we need to say that the bodhicitta will allow us or safeguard us through the passage of the suffering of these cyclic existence? Because in terms of in the teaching of the Hinayana vehicle, if someone who have committed any of the 5 heinous crime, there's really no other way to resolve this. That person must endure the karmic effect of to take rebirth in the hell realm and endure suffering. There is no other way. However, in the Mahayana vehicle, if you are able to arouse bodhicitta by relying on bodhicitta, even if you are someone who have committed the 5 heinous crime, through the bodhicitta, the merit or the quality of bodhicitta, you may not even need to endure hell realm. And just in case that you just might have to endure the suffering of hell realm, you will only endure in the moment, such as the moment or the duration of bouncing a basketball at once, such as the example given before. So therefore, this bodhicitta really have this immense or a strong benefit that we're really able to shorten the amount of time for a person to endure the suffering of hell realm. So therefore, this is by all means really the logical thing that people would rely on to people to practice in order to be free, to be liberated from suffering.
然后接下来呢，就是以火的比喻来说明菩提心可以彻底的摧毁这个罪业菩提心如魔界火，刹那能毁诸重罪这里就讲了。那菩提心呢，就好像魔界火是什么呢？我们所说的这个就是我们一般的这个火的热度的7倍，是一般的火的热度的7倍，是我们所说的檀香的火。檀香的木的火是更热的。檀香木的火的热度的7倍，是好像是地狱里面的火。总之就是这里有7倍这样接下来，就是最热的火。这个火呢，就是在末界火的时候，就是我们所说的这个沉住坏空的时候，那个有整个地球被烧毁的那个火叫做末界火。那个时候呢，是我们所说的是这个整个这个星球会变成太阳一般的热，整个这个地球首先是这个地球上的所有的水都会干掉。然后呢，之后呢，就是这些草树全部会干枯了，然后最后的所有的这个地球上的物质全部摧毁，全部燃烧掉，这个就是末界火，是非常非常强烈的一个火。那这里举的例子就是菩提心就像末界火一样的，可以把所有的罪过，就是包括这里说是无间罪这样的严重的罪过，都可以一切的烧毁掉。所以呢，菩提心的功德就是有这么大，菩提心就是这么厉害，所以我们在这里要知道 菩提心，常常讲菩提心，大家会觉得菩提心常常在听，常常在讲，这到底是怎么样的？大家很多人不是很清楚，所以在这里讲菩提心的功德的时候，我们一定要仔细的阅读菩提心的功德，牢牢的记住菩提心的功德。然后这样你记住的时候，当每一天其他什么事都没有做，那你可以在自己坐下来个5分钟，好好的发一个心，就是打坐个5分钟的菩提心的这个功德，也许远远超过有些人没有发菩提心，在1年360天都就是做这个慈善的事情的功德还要大。那我们一般说1年360天做慈善的功德那很大，但是如果没有发心的话，它的功德不如一个真正的发菩提心打坐5分钟的功德。所以呢，我们知道它的功德之后，我们就会非常的珍惜就是修这个菩提心。这些菩提心的这个功德，不是一般人随口而说的，这是佛说的。如果是作为一个佛教徒，连佛说的都不相信，那就没有办法了。那如果是佛说的我们不相信，那我们就不用再普行了，那可能他就真的没有办法就是没有办法得救了但是呢，如果是佛说的，如果相信的话，这个都是佛说的。因为我们在这个入行论的刚开始的时候，那个寂天菩萨说了，他这里面没有讲任何一句是以前没有讲过的东西所以这里的这些功德，菩提心的这些功德，都是以前佛陀讲过的这些，他把它归纳出来写下来的。所以这些功德就是这么殊胜的功德，我们一定要对这些升起强烈的信心，然后看自己能不能够真正的升起一些刹那的菩提心，这样。
So here, it's as in given the metaphor, and then following that, like the conflagration at the time of destruction of the universe, it consumes great vice in an instant, the vice in an instant. So here it says that in terms of the bodhicitta, is compared as the in terms of fire at the destruction of the universe. In terms of what is meant by the fire, how powerful the fire is. The ordinary fire, the temperature of ordinary fire is 7 times the fire of sandalwood, and then the fire of the hell realm is as hot as 7 times of the sandalwood itself. And it just continue to compare in terms of the amplification of 7 times, in which the fire at the end of the destruction of the universe is the fire with the highest temperature, the hottest fire. Such that within the cycle of 1 kalpa, the earth, at the end of the cycle of the kalpa, the earth will be completely burned by this fire of the destruction of fire, and such that then the fire will be as hot as the sun. Then first the earth will be all dried up, with all the water being dried up, and then all the tree and grass will be dried off, and it will be destroyed, and everything at the end, everything will be destroyed. So this is a metaphor in which this is a really as taught that is probably the strongest fire with the highest temperature. So here is compared as a metaphor of bodhicitta, such that just like the fire at the end of the universe, as strong as it is, it can destroy all kinds of negative karmic obscurations or obscurations. So this is how powerful bodhicitta is, as seen as this metaphor. So here we may often hear the word bodhicitta, whether we are hearing it or talking about it, but not many people really understand what the benefit or the quality of the bodhicitta is. So hereby, as we are continue to give in teaching regarding the benefit and quality of bodhicitta, we really need to have a firm understanding or firm memorization of the quality and the benefits. And so that when you have in your daily life, when you have some time to spare, when there's nothing going on, you can simply just sit down for 5 minutes and then engage in aspiration of bodhicitta. The 5 minutes of meditation of bodhicitta that you do may allow you to accumulate more merit than someone who has been committing or engaging positive actions 365 days a year you may have accumulated more merits than that person if that person have no bodhicitta in their mind stream. So really, by understanding the benefit and also how precious bodhicitta is, this is really the teaching. This is really a profound teaching that is said by none other than the Buddha himself. If a Buddhist, someone who is a Buddhist who does not believe what the Buddha said or what the Buddha taught, then it's really considered as then there is really no other ways to help that person in terms of the learning on the path of Buddhism. But if you are able to, as a Buddhist, to have devotion in the teaching of Buddha, then it will be able to allow you to be benefit to progress. Just as the beginning of this treaty, as the author Sanadeva said that in this treaty, there's nothing new to be said. Hereby, there means that all the teaching composed in this treaty are the teaching of the Buddha and has been taught before. Thereby, we really need to able to develop a strong devotion or strong competence in these teachings and the teaching of bodhicitta, and thereby try our best to aspire so that we can arouse bodhicitta in our mind stream.
那我们为什么就是说有些人会觉得佛陀说的就是真的呢？我们举一个例子，比如说一个人，你从小你就认识的一个人，从小长大到就是7、80岁之间，他从来没有说过谎的一个人，那他说的话你相不相信？那他说的话我们就一定会相信，因为他是从来不说谎的一个人。那我们人里面我们都会这样相信的话，那佛陀就更不用说了，因为佛陀他讲的所有的都是真实的，没有一个是就是说谎的，或是有矛盾的，或者等等的，没有这样的。因为我们在因明学里面，因明里面就是专门有一个就是以推理的方式来证明佛陀的语言是真实的。这个有一个因明里面就是有一个这个因明里面其中有一品就是专门就是讲这个敦巴参嘛，就是道师这个释迦牟尼佛的语言就是真理就是专门推理者。如果要用推理的方式你想知道的话，在因明里面就有，但是我想这我们根本没有必要这样就是去否认的。但是这里面就专门有一品是讲这样的，所以这个里面就讲到了，就是说我们首先要知道佛讲的语言是真实语言的话，首先我们要知道佛陀的他的功德，然后他前后讲的这些等等等等，要就是看很多然后呢就来证明佛说的这些都是真实的。那在这因明里面讲的这些里面，就是用推理的方式来讲佛的语言是真实语。但是对于我们来说的话，我们就不需用推理的，因为以前的高僧大德这么多的伟大的人物，他们都是相信佛陀讲的都是真的，那我们就根本不需要再怀疑以后再去推理了，只要是佛陀讲的就是一定就是了，就这样。
And why do some people say that how do you know what Buddha said is true, is genuine? For example, if you knew someone of a person since childhood until the age of 70 or 80, and that person have never lied, would you believe in things that this person said? You would believe this person because since his whole life he has never lied. So if this is an ordinary person, then what does it say about Buddha? This is not to say that the words of Buddha are truly genuine, because if someone wished to really understand how the word of the Buddha is genuine, then in the teaching of the logical thinking, there's a deductive method to prove that what the Buddha said is always true, always genuine. And there's a chapter in terms of on the teaching of logical thinking as a deductive method to deduce how the Buddha's words are genuine. So if you wish to use this deductive method to deduce the words of the Buddha as genuine or not, then you can do so. But there's really no need here to object the words of the Buddha as whether or not the words are genuine or not, because here we first understand in order to understand how the words of the Buddha are genuine, we first understand the quality of the Buddha, and also that by learning the quality as well as the quality of the Buddha and the teaching, we will be able to prove what the Buddha said is true. But then on the other hand, there is a deductive method taught in the logical thinking for to deduce that what the Buddha says is genuine. So thereby, but for us, we don't really need to engage in this deductive method, because just as many great masters before us have already proven through their experience or their teaching that the words of the Buddha are genuine. So thereby, we just need to simply follow what they have accomplished and achieved, and understand that whichever Buddha said is true and genuine.
然后呢，接下来呢，这2句呢，就是祭天菩萨，也就是用这个校正的方式说，以上讲的这些菩提心的功德呢，就是智者弥勒以善财，彼心利益无限量，就是他们也讲过，那就是说，弥勒菩萨以及善财童子的。在这个也讲过很多菩提心的功德，所以呢，他呢是主要就是提出这个来，就是有校正来说明他以上说的这些都是就是正确的。那他们在哪里讲的呢？就是在《华严经》里面讲的有记载，在《华严经》里面呢，其中有做了100多个比喻就是来讲解菩提心的功德。这个是在弥勒菩萨跟善财的。这个对话的过程当中，就是讲了100多个比喻，弥勒菩萨给善财童子讲这个菩提心的功德，所以呢，这里呢就是提到了弥勒以及善财这样。
And here the following two sentences, it says that the wise Lord Maitreya taught its incalculable benefit to Sudana. So here it says through the teaching, teaching and realization, these two methods have been also proven that this is true of the benefit of bodhicitta, just as Lord Maitreya and Stud have given the teaching to Sudana. It was taught in the Sutra of, I don't know the English, but then the Sutra of Huayan. It has been documented that in the 100 metaphors in which the Sutra has documented, which Maitreya have given teaching on bodhicitta with with 100 metaphors, as he taught to the Sudana.
接下来呢就是讲的特殊功德就是把菩提心愿菩提心以及行菩提心来分开来讲就是个别的功德这样然后这个呢分类是分3，一是分类，然后2呢是本体之差别，3是功德之差别。然后就是首先呢就是分类，就是略摄菩提心当知有2种，用2种。愿求菩提心趋行菩提心就是这样说的。
And then now we'll begin talking about in terms of the benefit of the bodhicitta, as it began to talk separate, to categorize into separate categories, such as in terms of the bodhicitta of aspiration and bodhicitta of application. Or here it says in brief. First, as it began to engage in the categorization, is to categorize to 3 parts. First is the separation of the bodhicitta into 2, and second is talk about the difference of these two categorization, and then the third is the benefit of these benefits of each of these categorizations in terms of the bodhicitta. So here it says, in brief, the spirit of awakening is known to be 2 kinds: the spirit of aspiring for awakening, and the spirit of venturing towards awakening. Yes.
然后这里说，略摄菩提心，为什么是略摄呢？因为把菩提心的这个话题是非常非常广的，尤其是我们在这个《现观庄严论》呐。 然后呢，这些里面就是讲这个菩提心的时候是非常非常广的话题。那这些，但是呢，把这些全部就是总结来讲的话，就是两种，就是愿行菩提心，就是愿菩提心以及行菩提心。那这里说是愿求菩提心、趋行菩提心，就是这两种这样。
And here what it says in brief, the reason it says in brief is because the teaching of Bodhicitta is very, very vast. It has been taught in widely content in the ornament of realization. So this is actually a very vast topic. But here in summary, it can be categorized into two, which here it says the spirit of aspiring for awakening, and it's the spirit for venturing towards awakening.
那这里就是本体之差别。那这里就是再进一步的讲。这个愿菩提心是怎么样的，行菩提心是怎么样的？他说，如人尽了之，欲行之行别。若是如是智者之二心次第别。这里就是讲愿菩提心是怎么样的呢？就是愿菩提心就是，比如说一个人，我现在想要去朝拜这个菩提迦叶。就是我要想去菩提迦叶的话，这个想去的这个愿望、愿力，或者想要去的这个决心，或是这个愿力，这个叫做愿菩提心，就是心里在向往，我愿意这样去，就是朝拜的这个心念，这叫做愿菩提心。那但是呢，我们这里的菩提心是怎么样呢？就是我愿这个一切众生成佛，而我愿意就是去做一个这样的事情的这个愿望，这样。然后行菩提心是什么呢？行菩提心就真正的你要去菩提迦叶的时候呢，你以前是心里这样准备，有这个愿望，那真实你就已经开始做了这个工作，比如说买机票然后开始行程这些准备开始做，这个就是行菩提心。举例子就是这样。
So here we begin to talk about the difference of these two categorization, or what they are. Here it says and just as one perceives the difference between a person who yearns to travel and a traveler, so do they recognize the correct corresponding difference between those two. So here it says in terms of the aspiration for awakening, or here means same as the aspiration of bodhicitta. For example, if someone says that, I would like to take a pilgrimage to Bodhigaya, the wish or the aspiration to go to Bodhigaya is what we're referring to here, which is the wish or the intention to do so. And here, in terms of the aspiration bodhicitta, or the intention, here the aspiration is that for all sentient beings to attain Buddhahood, I wish to engage or to fulfill this goal. And then here, as it continues to says, in terms of the venturing towards awakening, or here which is same as the application bodhicitta, means that after you have the intention, you have this motivation, then you begin the preparation work, such as buying ticket, etc. The work itself, or the preparation itself, is the application of bodhicitta.
然后这里我们简单的讲一下，就是愿菩提心是怎么样的，就是我为了天下的一切众生成佛，我一定要就是成佛，我一定要修成佛因为为了众生我要修成佛的这样的一个强烈的愿力这叫做愿菩提心。然后行菩提心是怎么样呢？就说我只是这样发愿还不行，我一定要去做这样的事情，而这样做的事情就是开始做，比如说是六般若波罗蜜多里面的从布施啦、持戒啦等等等等这些开始行持做，这叫做行菩提心就是愿菩提心或行菩提心。简单的讲的话就这样，这样可能大家比较容易记住就是这样的。所以呢，刚刚这样，我们的第一个念头这样产生的时候，你的相续当中就是有了这个愿菩提心的。然后第二个呢，你开始这样行持的时候，你的相续当中这个行菩提心就产生了。
So here to briefly say, in a brief words, in terms of the aspiration of bodhicitta, it means that we aspire with the thought that in order for all sentient beings to attain enlightenment of Buddhahood, I must attain Buddhahood. So this is for the purpose for all sentient beings. So with such intense aspiration, this is referring as the aspiration bodhicitta. And in terms of the application bodhicitta, it means that by only having such intention or aspiration is not enough. I must engage in the necessary actions to fulfill this goal, to fulfill this objective, such as we engage in actions of 6 paramita, including practice generosity or upholding precepts, etc. So this is as a kind of really a simple way to explain that these two categories or these two aspects of bodhicitta in terms of for people to understand. So once you have the first thought, and then you have aspired, you have aroused the bodhicitta aspiration, and once you have the second thought, then you have aroused the application of bodhicitta.
OK， 刚刚那个第二个呢，我不是讲错了一下哈，行菩提心不是只是想就你的相续当中升起的那个心，我重新讲一下哈，愿菩提心呢，就是当我们这样发愿，为了天下的一切有情众生成佛，而我一定要修成佛的这个强烈的心里做的这个承诺，或者自己的发的这个誓有这样的誓愿的当下，愿菩提心你的相续当中就升起了。然后行菩提心呢，要自己的相续当中升起了，是不但有这样的愿力，而且呢，真正自己这样行持，在这个上面还需要就是这个以仪轨来得到这个菩萨的戒这样的时候呢，就是行菩提心的戒也好，所说的行菩提心的心，这样才自己的相续当中升起哈。刚刚我好像说了第二个行菩提心是有时那样的决心就可以升起，那个是错误的。
So actually to reiterate, to rephrase, I may have missed something in the previous explanation. In terms of the aspiration bodhicitta, we aspire. In the aspiration bodhicitta is to means for all sentient beings. In order for all sentient beings to attain Buddhahood, I must attain Buddhahood. So once we have this aspiration or this oath that we have sworn in this oath, that then in our mind stream we have the aspiration bodhicitta. In terms of the application or the venturing of bodhicitta, it means that not only we have the aspiration, but we engage in the we have the intention that we must do something. We must the aspiration is not enough. We must do something to engage so that we can fulfill this oath, and thereby the proper application through different actions, and as well as the receiving a bodhisattva vow with the proper practice of certain sadhana to receive bodhisattva vows. Then having all these things occur, then the venturing or application of bodhicitta will arouse. It would occur in our mind stream. So for it to be manifest. So thereby previously I only mentioned that only the thought of not only aspiration is not enough, but we have to do something. That's not enough. We also need to have the bodhisattva vows as well.
所以呢，我们在受这个菩萨戒的时候，就是我们首先就是有这个愿菩提心，然后在愿菩提心的前提下呢，有这个行菩提心，在这个前提下呢，就是说像这样的这个发心，就算遇到我生命的危险，我也不会舍弃这样的决心下，然后呢受这个菩萨戒这样的时候，我们就真正的这个行菩提心也升起了，愿菩提心也有了，菩萨戒也有了这些细节的是非常重要的。很多时候大家都讲菩提心就要为天下众生一切成佛，菩提心简简单单的大家都会讲，但是这里面的很多的细节是很多人不知道的，所以我们必须知道真正的愿菩提心是怎么样升起的，怎么样才属于是 愿菩提心。真正的行菩提心是怎么样的？然后我们这里讲菩提心的功德是指的哪一个？这些都是细节这些我们一定要清楚。
So therefore, whenever we engage in the taking the Bodhisattva vow, we first have the aspiration of Bodhicitta. And then with that in mind, we have the second, the application Bodhicitta, the intention to do something. And along with the aspiration of Bodhicitta and the application of Bodhicitta, or venturing of Bodhicitta, we vow that even we encounter danger that will endanger our life, we will never abandon our aspiration or our oath or our intention. And then we take upon the Bodhisattva vow. So thereby, we need to have the aspiration, and then the application, and then the Bodhisattva vow, in order to have this genuine bodhicitta to arouse in our mind stream. So these details are actually very important for us to memorize, to understand, because people often they only say, "Oh, bodhicitta just means that I aspire to benefit all sentient beings," but really, there's really details that we need to understand how the bodhicitta is aroused by first understanding the aspiration, and then by understanding how the venturing or application bodhicitta, and then what benefit the bodhicitta has is pertaining, what is the benefits about. So these are all the details that we really need to understand and recognize.
所以我们今天讲了菩提心的功德里面呢，我们讲了一些重点，这些大家要记住的。第一个重点是我们要怎么样让自己的相续当中升起菩提心，依靠什么样的环境，这个部分我们讲了，这个大家要记住。好，第二个呢，我们讲菩提心，这里讲的菩提心的功德是什么样的菩提心？是圣域菩提心，或是世俗菩提心？这个是重点。好，第二个我们讲的是，到底什么叫做你的相续当中升起了菩提心？这个我们讲的，这是非常重要的。愿菩提心是什么样长，什么样行菩提心是怎么样才让你的相续当中升起？这些大家就是把这些重点就是不能忘记。
So here today we have talked about in terms of the benefit of bodhicitta. There are several key points we need to memorize or really keep in mind. First, the key points that we have taught that we need to know how to arouse bodhicitta, the method that we need to engage in or what kind of environment we need in order to arouse bodhicitta in our mind stream. This is something that everybody needs to remember. And then we need to understand what the benefit of, in terms of the benefit that's talking about here, the benefit of bodhicitta. What kind of bodhicitta that we're talking about? What kind of bodhicitta have these benefits, whether it's relative or absolute? And then finally, we need to understand that what does it mean to truly arouse bodhicitta in our mind stream? What is necessary in order for us to arouse bodhicitta? And that includes the aspiration, the application, etc. So these are truly the key points that we need to keep in mind. That these are things we cannot forget.
那今天呢讲到这里，然后接下来呢，我们花5分钟的时间，大家就是修菩提心，修什么菩提心呢？修愿菩提心，大家都知道，我们刚刚讲过了，什么是愿菩提心，所以大家打坐，我们就是修5分钟的愿菩提心，我们就在5分钟里面可以积累非常非常大的功德所以呢，接下来大家就是打坐5分钟。
So this concludes today's morning class, and now we'll spend 5 minutes on the meditation of bodhicitta. And what is the bodhicitta we practicing? We are practicing for the aspiration of bodhicitta. So just as we have taught earlier today. So here we begin meditation of 5 minutes, and because within this 5 minutes we can actually accumulate immense merit.